Okay, so here we go. I guess 17 people are watching this session now. It's went to 19. So okay, so do share this video with on your Facebook profile, guys. We'll start this session in 2 minutes. By the time we'll start this session, do share this on your Facebook profile. And do also click on the like button so that I will know that you are enjoying this session and you're excited about this course. Okay, so we got 23 people and 10. Okay, so on 23 people and only 10 likes. Come on, guys. If you're excited about this course, just click on the like button and we'll start the thing in a minute now. So let everyone join on Facebook, on YouTube using from Facebook platforms, on WhatsApp. So do share this link with your friends. Okay, so we got Adam, who is new to this. So basically, we are doing a live coding here. So we'll be making an application live. And today, we are going to deploy the application on Amazon Web Service. Okay, so in fact, okay, so that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so okay, so let's start this session now, and we got okay, so let me start the recording as well. So here we go. Let me open Camtasia so that the recording will be available later. Okay. So let me start the recording, and I'm using this thing. Let's start the recording. Okay, so today I'm very excited because we will be deploying the application, whatever we have done till now, on Amazon Web Service, and it will be available in such a way that anyone can access it. So anyone can add a feedback, anyone can use that URL, and that will be a public thing. Okay, so I'm very excited for this because this will be the first time where I'm doing something live like this, deploying something online. There might be some issues that we may get some errors, but that's fine, right? That's a part of the process. So let's see how it goes now. First of all, I want to thank Karthik. I got a design from Karthik, and Karthik, we loved your design. So let me just open the design, the homepage which Karthik has created or made. So let me just open that design, and this is a design submitted by Karthik. So his full name is Karthik Rajendra, and you can see the most important thing which I liked here is this one, playing the video while we can see a page. It's awesome design this is, and okay. So what else? What else? Okay, so I loved the design. Okay, and this images will be replaced by the images which our team is designing the images with the new images. So thank you so much, Karthik, for the design. Oh, there's spelling mistake. Yeah, I mean spelling mistake will remove that. In fact, the content will be changed soon. Okay, but where is the spelling mistake? Can't figure it out. Okay, but that's fine. That's fine. He's still working on the page. It is not complete page yet. He's still working. It may take 2 or 3 days more for the completion, I guess, Karthik, right? Okay. But yeah, so other people, you can also help with certain designs. If you think this can be modified, this can be modified, let me know. We'll do those changes. Okay, so let me just close this. So this is the design we'll be using. So as of now, this is the design we'll be using for the home page. So let me just close this. And so, okay, so in the last session, what we have done is we have created this project, right? So let me just run this project locally so that we'll see what is happening. Okay, so what I will do now is I will right click on this project. I will say run on server. I already have a Tomcat in my machine. Let's see what is it working or not, so that will continue. Okay, so it's asking for restarting server. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we have done. And when you say a feedback page, so when you request for a feedback page, feedback.htm, it will ask you for the page where you can give the feedback. I was doing some experiment with the project. I hope it has not created an issue. You can see we got a feedback here as well, right? A very big page it is. So you can see this is our feedback page. Again, design doesn't matter. We are focusing more on the coding part first. And again, I want help for design from your side, right? So again, the design will be changed in future. Okay, so what we're going to do now is let's create one more. We'll create one more link where you can actually get all the feedbacks. You know, I want to also check what are the feedbacks available. So I will say get feedbacks.htm. So when I say get feedback.htm, I want all the feedbacks. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a feedback here. Okay, you can see we have not created anything for this thing. Okay, so now what we'll do is let's create a controller. Now, I hope you remember the Spring MVC because I'm assuming that till you have reached till this point, of course, you should know about something about Spring MVC, right? So what we will do now is we'll add one more controller only for fetching the records. As you can see, we have created a controller called as add feedback here. Okay, we got it for feedback. So when you say feedback.htm, it will return feedback.jsp. And when you call for add feedback, it will add the feedback in your database. This is what we have done in the last session, right? So if I open the database now, okay, which database you are working with? So basically till now we are working with MySQL. So I will open MySQL Workbench. And I was using Dhanasri's connection here. So in the next to me, I have a machine here in which I have a database. And if I say use Telusko, if I say select star from feedback, is it working? It's taking some time. Why? Because it is on another machine. Okay, so it's taking some time. But then this is what we have done till the last session. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll have one more method using which you can get all the data. Okay, why it is showing you the issue? Let me just do that once again. So the database is 192.1.2. The password is this one. Let's enter. Click on OK. Say use Telusko. I don't know if you can see that text there. And if I run this code, let's say select star from feedback, and I will run this code. Okay, so these are the feedback we have added in the last session, right? So I want to fetch all this feedback, and I want to show those feedback on the page. So what we will do now is let's go back here and let's have one more controller. So we'll give the controller name as @request mapping get feedback. Now instead of typing the code, I will simply copy paste the code because I've already done that before. So instead of wasting lots of time, what I'm doing now is I'm writing the code freehand so that I'll be simply copying pasting it. So I will just copy paste this. And you can see so whenever you call for request mapping, okay, so when you send a request for get feedback.htm, because this is the feedback I want to fetch, right? So I will go here on my HTML, okay, I will not use, okay, we are using Facebook. We are using Firefox, right? So when I say get feedback.htm, I want to make it work. Now, as you can see, this is not working because we have provided get feedback.htm, right? But we have not mentioned so we have mentioned that we want to call feedbacks.jsp. Now, unfortunately, you can see we don't have a view name which is called as feedback.jsp. So let's create that feedback.jsp. I will create a JSP page here, and we'll name this page as feedbacks.jsp. And what I will do here is I will simply print the feedback. But let's do that later. I got the feedback page, and in here I'll mention the feedback page, and let's return the object of MV. Now, if you are wondering what is MV, basically when you talk about Spring MVC, in Spring MVC, whenever you make a website, you have two things here. First, you have to return the data, and you have to also mention the view name, right? So this feedbacks.jsp is your view name, and you also want to send a data. So what you can do is you can create object of model and view, which can hold both. It can hold data and view name both. It is not compulsory to use this. We can also use model object, but then using this will be much more efficient to work with, right? So we'll use this, and we'll say MV dot. I want to add data now. I want to send all the feedbacks, right? So I will mention the feedbacks are feedbacks, and I will give a data. Now we have to send the data as well, right? Now this data will be coming from the database. So all the feedbacks need to be coming from the database. So of course we have to say fDAO, because now what is DAO here? It's an DAO object, right? I'm just assuming that you have seen all the earlier sessions here, okay? You have seen all the earlier sessions. And we'll say get feedbacks. But then unfortunately, I don't have this method called as get feedbacks. So what I will do here is I will say, okay, why I'm doing all these things? Okay, you are waiting for the AWS, right? But then to make it work, I also want to have one more request, right? Using which I can fetch the feedback. So I'm doing that now. And in this, I want one more method using which you can actually fetch the feedback from the database. So I will use, I have already written that object, already written that string here. So let me just copy paste that. So you can see I got a method called as get feedback. So this method is already created. So when I say get feedbacks, I'm creating object of session. Now, since I want to fetch all the records, I'm using a HQL here. So this thing is actually HQL. Now, when you work with SQL, we use SQL queries, right? We all know how SQL query works. But then in Hibernate, it provides you a feature of HQL. Now, if you don't know HQL, you can just go to my playlist. I have Hibernate videos. Do watch those videos to get the complete understanding of HQL. Okay. So yeah, so we got from feedback. When you're fetching a feedback, you're getting all these feedbacks here. So in this list, I have all the feedbacks which is coming from the table. And then I will simply print those. And I will also return the feedback. So whatever I'm getting from the database, I'm returning that in a list format. So that list format will be going to index controller. And in this feedback label, you'll be having all those things. Now, what we have to do now is, in your feedbacks.jsp, we'll simply use a dollar symbol, and we'll mention feedbacks. Now, it is possible that your EL is not working. Okay, let's do that later. So let's restart the server. Let's right-click this, and we'll say restart the server. Now let's see if your get feedbacks is working. Let's go back there. Not only this, let's go to Firefox. Let's say enter, and it's taking lots of time because data is coming from another machine. I guess there's some firewall issue which is blocking. Oh, can you see that we got feedbacks, but unfortunately we got dollar feedbacks. This is not what we want, right? But you can see the console of STS, we got all the feedbacks. So it is fetching the feedback from the database. But then there's only one issue. EL is not working here. Now, if you're not familiar with EL, EL stands for expression language, which is a part of JSP. And you can actually take a notebook with you, okay? So when you are doing this session, just take a notebook and a pen with you. Whatever things you don't understand, just write those things and go to my channel and search for the videos on that. 90% chances are that I do have a video on that concept. It may happen that I don't have a concept. Let me know. or whatever concept you don't understand, I will make a video on that. Okay, so I will say is EL ignored equal to false, because sometimes your EL is getting ignored. So let's try to remove that. Let's go back. Let's restart the server. Okay, if you have just joined the session, do click on the like button. Let me know that you are enjoying the session. Okay, server is started, done. Let's go back and say enter. And it's taking lots of time. Okay, can you see that we got all the feedbacks here? And that's awesome. We got this method, which is get feedbacks.html, which will return me all the feedbacks. Now, once we are done with this, let's go to Amazon Web Service. I want to deploy this application on AWS. So I'm very excited for this now, and let's do that. So step one. Now, first of all, there are lots of people, they might be wondering, last time we have worked on Google App Engine, and now I'm moving to Amazon Web Service. There are multiple reasons for this. The first reason is I always wanted to go for Amazon Web Service, but the problem was, I was facing some issues. But now the issues are resolved, and now we can work on Amazon. And working on Amazon Web Service is much easier compared to Google App Engine, right? And Amazon Web Service is a market leader in cloud services, okay? So given a choice, if you can go for Amazon Web Service or you can go for App Engine, I will always go for Amazon Web Service. Okay, so let's go to Amazon Web Service. So okay, so what I will do now is let me just go to Amazon Web Service website. So I will say aws.amazon.com. That's the official website of Amazon Web Service. This is the page you have to go to. And okay, so I'm going to this website, and my internet connection is running very slow today. I hope I'm properly audible there in your on YouTube. Okay, anyway, this session is getting recorded, so you can watch this session later as well. Why is it taking so much of time? Amazon Web Service, come on. Okay, so you can see we got Amazon Web Service, and I already have an account. So if you don't have an account, you just have to click on create account, and creating account is actually easier than creating a Facebook account here. The only thing is you have to enter your credit card information, and okay, if you don't have a credit card, then bad for you. But then it is free for 1 year. Okay, at least 1 year you can enjoy. And there are some paid tiers. Don't click on that. Whenever you select anything here, make sure that you're using a free version. Okay. So I will go to Amazon Management Console, Amazon Web Service Management Console. I already have an account. It will ask me for the username and password, I guess. I hope it will ask me that. Okay, so I already have an account here, so I will say Java Boy. That's the account I'm using now. So javaboynaveen@gmail.com, and the password is ***********. Okay, this is the password you have to use. And okay. So my interns are laughing at me now. Okay, so we got a login into the console. So you have to make sure that you have an Amazon account with you guys before doing all these things. So I've done all the steps now. In fact, the session is getting recorded, so you'll be having the offline video, but then, okay. Now first, let me explain you all these modules here. So we got EC2. EC2 stands for it is Elastic Cloud Computing. So whenever you want to deploy your application, this is the place you can deploy the application, in which you will be using Elastic Beanstalk, because this is used only for web applications. EC2 can be used for applications for virtual servers. We don't want to use virtual servers here, so we'll be going for only web applications, right? So we'll be using Elastic Beanstalk. In fact, it provides you lots of features. It also provides extra service if you're injured. Okay, jokes apart. So we have S3 for storage. We have RDS for database. So we'll be using RDS here for creating a database. So two things we need here. The first thing we need is Elastic Beanstalk, where you will deploy your application. and you need RDS where you can where you will put your database. So, okay, which one to go for first? I mean, you can go for anything, right? You can go for Elastic Bean, or you can also go for RDS. Let's start with Elastic Bean. Okay, and just taking some time. So Elastic Bean is for deploying your web application. You can see I already have an application here. If you want to get an application, okay, why I've done this already, because it takes lots of time, you know. Sometimes I feel Amazon web servers are slower than my machine. So it takes lots of time to create an application, to create a database, to add a table. So I have already done that already. So if you want to do it by yourself, click on the create new application. It will ask you for the application name. I will say Tusk. I will not use Tusk. We'll say Naveen application name. You can add a description if you want and click on create. So it will create application for you. You can see this is the application, and here you have to create. So you have to get an application where you can deploy it. So I'm selecting web. Okay, let me just close this. So once you click on create new application, you have to enter a name. Then to go for create new one, it will ask you for which one you want to go for. I will select web server environment. Now, once you do that, it will create an application for you. But yeah, before that, you have to mention which server you want to go for. So I'm going for Tomcat, right? Now, okay, so if you're working on Node.js, you can go for that. If you're working on PHP, it also provides PHP feature, then Python, then Ruby. We are going for Tomcat. We'll select Tomcat here. And in fact, if you are familiar with Docker, you can also use Docker here. Okay, but then I will be using Tomcat. Now, once we got a Tomcat, I want to upload my application. You can see we have to click on upload your code, and you can upload the code here itself. But you can actually skip this. Okay, but for this you need a var file. Now that's a tricky part, right? But before doing all these things, we will simply click on create environment. At least we'll be getting an environment where you can deploy the application, right? Okay. Okay, it says no event is because we have not added the var file. But I will be not using this one. I will be using something which is my own. So I've already created this one, which is sample, the name is demo. I'll be deploying the application using this upload and deploy thing. So you just have to click on upload and deploy, and you can deploy your application. It is that easy. And the awesome part is your Amazon Web Service actually supports Java 8. So your Amazon Web Service actually supports Java 8, and that's what I love about it. So you can use all the Java 8 features here. Okay, and you can see it uses Amazon Linux machine, so that will be easier to work with. Okay, but before even deploying the application, we have to make sure that we are using. So even before deploying the application, I have to first create a database, right? So also let's create a database. So for that, I will open AWS. Okay, let's go for RDL. So we have created this environment here. So we'll be using this after some time, but we have to create a database first. So I'll go here and I will click on Amazon Management Console. Okay, and if you want to create a database, of course, right, when you deploy an application, we also need a database there, right? In fact, before deploying, I was using this other machine, DBMS, which is MySQL, and now I have to use Amazon Web Service. So I will be using RDS, which stands for Relational Database Service. Okay, so we'll click on this, and okay. So we got a question from Rajat: how to promote my channel? There are multiple ways of promoting the channel. This is the most weird way of promoting your channel, Rajat. Okay, so once we got this page, now you can see it's okay. First of all, it will look difficult for you because you're doing it for the first time. But trust me, once you know this, it will be very easy to work with in future. Okay. So I will click on Launch DB Instance. we'll click on this, launch DB instance, and okay, now there are different instances it supports. So Amazon has its own DBMS, which is Aurora. I will not use that. We'll go for MySQL. Okay, you can go for MySQL, or you can go for MariaDB. You can go for Postgres. The thing is, if you're going for the Amazon own DBMS, it is not free actually. Yeah, it will. You will be getting charged for this, and we love free things, right? So we'll be going for MySQL or Postgres. Now I'm facing some problem with MySQL Workbench on my system, so I'll be using Postgres SQL. Okay, so I'll be using Postgres here. Okay, and let's go to select. Okay, so when you click on select, it will ask you for what type of environment you're going to go for. Again, this is the paid version. Okay, this is the free version. Okay, we'll go for this one. Oh, it is this instance intended for use outside of production or under the RDS free users tier. Okay, so we will be using free one because you can see it has its own billing information. I'm very bad with billing information, so I don't know. Let's see what it says. So they also have charges for this. For Postgres, they have. Okay, you can read this for the charges. Currently, I'm using free one, so let's not worry about that. Let's go to the next step. Okay, now here, first of all, okay, when you go for RDS, you have to make sure that you select only those things which are free. Okay, see, mind you, to create Amazon account, it will ask you for your credit card information, right? So if you are doing something, think and do it. Okay, unnecessary, it will charge you, and that will not be a small amount. Okay. So make sure you select this one. We select RDS free tier. So we'll tick this, and okay. Now here we have to. So when you select this one, it will give you all default options. So we'll go for default options. See, you're doing this for the first time, right? So always go for default one. If you can get the default one working, you can try different things. Okay, you can do different experiments with that then. Okay, now it will ask you for your database identifier. Now the database identifier is your database instance name. So I will use database name as Telusko. And then I will use master username as Naveen. And I will set the password as one dumb. And okay, actually you can see my password afterwards once you see the code. Anyway, I will change that later. And I will use the same password here. And then you click on next. Now when you click on next, it will create your database instance. Oh, it is asking you for some more configuration. Now again, all this configuration, let's go for the default one. We'll select default VPC. And here as well, I will go for, here we have to go for RDS launch wizard. Okay, I'm doing this from a long time. I'm getting errors from a long time. Right, okay, so this thing works. Let's enter your database name. And we'll also give a database name as Telusko itself. So my instance name is also Telusko and database name is also Telusko. You can have two different names, that's fine. And anything else? That's the default port number for Postgres. If you're using MySQL, the port number it will give you is 3306. For Postgres, it is 5432. And once you do this, then nothing important. Let's click on Launch DB Instance. I hope it will work now. And you can see your DB instance is working. Now, how do you know how many DB instances you are running with? So if I go to instances here, you can see I have the whole shop open here for DBMS. I guess it will be 2 or 3. So you can see I was doing some experiment. So I've created this MySQL called as task. Then I was doing task post. Then we are doing Telusko test. I will not be using this one or ABCD. I will be using task post. Okay, so we have created this one, but we'll be using this one, okay, because this is working. And I don't want to take any risk with this. Okay, so okay. Now what is important? Once you got okay, so we got a question from Raj Shekhar. Are we using AWS instead of Google App Engine? Yes. We are using AWS instead of using Google App Engine is because I always wanted to go for AWS But then I was facing some issues before, and now the issues are resolved. So I'm using Amazon Web Service. Okay, so once you, okay, so now how to configure this and what are things you have which is important. So before expanding this, what I want to show you is if I go to my STS, see what are things you have to remember. Whenever you connect with database, there are certain things which is important. The first thing is the driver class. So the driver class here is com.mysql.driver because I was using MySQL before. Then you have to mention the URL, which I have mentioned here. Then I have to mention the username and password. So this thing will change depending upon which DBMS you're working with. Now, since I'm deploying the application on Amazon Web Service, which is RDS, so when you open this, you have to click on the second tab, which is what it calls details. So when you click on details, it will give you all these options. Now, most important thing here is the database name. So first thing you have to remember is database name. I would recommend you to write it somewhere. In fact, let me just do that. I will write my things here. So I will mention my database name as, okay, let me just use database name, which is Telusko. Okay, the next thing here is the username. What is all this thing here? Okay, the next thing is username. I will say user equal to Naveen. And let me share the password with you. Not now, we'll share that password later. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the password for my RDS database. In fact, I should not be sharing this password with you, but then that's fine. I can do this for time being. And okay, what next? Okay. And then this is important, the endpoint. Now, endpoint basically means your host name. So as you know that it will ask you for the host name, right? So we'll say host equal to this one. This is your host name. Okay. The next thing you have to remember is the port number. So the port number is 5432. So these are things you have to remember: database name, username, password, host name, and port number. Okay. What next? Okay. And if you have any questions, let me know, guys. You can use the chat window to ask questions. Since we are live, so there should be some advantage of asking questions, right? Okay. And if you're liking this session, just click on the like button. Just let me know that you're enjoying this session. Okay, so okay. So Mohammed Fair says clouds are more chargeable than not cloud. Not exactly. Actually, you can actually monitor what is happening on the cloud servers. If you don't monitor, then of course it will charge you more. So if you are optimizing your tiers, your services, then it is not that costly. Okay, so yeah, so once you got your database things, all this information, let's replace all this information in our code. So I want this information in our code, right? So I will open my STS and let's replace all these things. Now, first of all, I'm not using MySQL anymore. I'm using Postgres, right? Again, there are different DBMS available, right? I'm using Postgres here. So what I will do is I will replace this com.mysql.driver with Postgres. Now, before using Postgres, you have to also make sure that you are adding a Postgres dependencies in your system. So how do we add a Postgres dependency? Again, you can go to Maven repository and you can get the Postgres dependency. In fact, I do have that. Okay. Let me just take the dependency. So can we add it from here? Oh, it is disabled. Anyway. So let's go to POM and let's go to Maven repository to get that dependency. So I will go to Maven repository. I will replace this one. Oh, so Karthik, you're leaving 12 midnight. Where are you now? In London or Singapore? Or maybe Australia, if I'm not wrong. Those are the time zones which is matching with 12 now. Uh, and Mukesh says, shall we watch this video later? Yes, this video will be available on YouTube. So this video will be available on YouTube. Okay, don't worry. So we'll go to Maven repository and we'll search for Postgres. So let's search for Postgres and we'll select Postgres here. We'll go for this version. Okay, let's copy this. And let's paste it here. So we got a Postgres dependency in our system. And if I expand my Maven repository, where is that? And you have to also verify, okay, whenever you do anything, you have to also verify if this is updated or not. Okay, if I open libraries, it was taking some time. What's wrong? So if I open my Maven repository or Maven dependencies, okay, you can see in time pane. Okay, so you can see we got a Postgres dependency here. In fact, I don't need MySQL anymore. So I can also remove MySQL from here. So just drag it and let me just remove MySQL. I don't need MySQL anymore. So it is that easy to add dependencies and to remove dependencies. Suddenly my machine is running very slow because Eclipse is doing something behind the scene. So let me remove MySQL from here. Okay, so we have removed MySQL and now it's time to change these values. So the first thing is you have to mention your driver class. So driver class is ord dot, it is Postgres SQL dot driver. The next thing you have to mention is the URL. Now this URL would be, so it will be JDBC colon, we have to use Postgres here. So we are not using MySQL anymore, we are using a Postgres. So we'll say Postgres SQL. Okay, and then here you have to mention your host name. So I will remove this. My machine is working very slow. It is sending some error report, I guess. Remote system operation. Oh, it is taking lots of time here. Okay, and I have to replace this one with the host name. So I already have a host name in my Sublime. So I will use this host name. You have to copy from here to here, and let's paste it. This one. So we have pasted that. Hope it is not okay. And then we have to mention the port number as well. So we have to give a colon, and we mention the port number as 5432. So we have mentioned the port number as well. Okay, so is there any way to remove the lag from Eclipse? Yes, we have to make sure that you close your background process, because background process takes lots of RAM and lots of CPUs, CPU cores. So you have to make sure that you stop all the background thing. And you can see it is still not stopping. So the best way would be to restart your Eclipse in this case. I cannot do that now because I'm live. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to mention. Then the next thing we have to mention here is you have to mention the username. The username here is, which I've written here, is Naveen. Okay, now my entire system is running slow now. So I will say Naveen here, and the password for my machine for the database there is ABC. I mean 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and what next? That's it. We have mentioned everything here. We have to mention the driver name. We have done with that. We have mentioned the URL. We have mentioned that, and then we have mentioned the password. And okay, everything seems good. Okay, but unfortunately, I don't have a data on the server, right? We have simply created the database, right? If you remember, if you go to Amazon Web Service here, we have created only the database. I mean, we have created database, right? Which is table. We have not created the table yet. So we have to create a table. Now, how do we do that? How do we add a table? Okay, so to do that, you can search for the console where you can write SQL queries. So if you search everywhere, and you will figure it out, there is no console here. How can you insert a table? If I click on this, there's no option of inserting data. If you click on this, okay, you can see there's no option of inserting a table from this page. So what you have to do is you have to use some clients. We got a question from Saurabh. Which Mac is this? This is Apple Mac. This is 2016 launch Mac, i7 machine. I know it is i7, it is Mac, it should not lag. The problem is I'm using dual screen here. I'm using multiple servers in my machine. Okay, I have to define my machine, right? So, okay, so yeah, so what you have to do is you have to use a client. So you have to make sure that you use a client. So if you're using MySQL, you have to use MySQL Workbench, which is here. If you are using Postgres, then you have to download PG admin. So you have to install PG admin here. Okay, and I already have a setup here. What I will do is I will delete that setup. Okay, so Fair says let's Hibernate create table automatically. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. To also monitor, right? We need to control on the database. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, it's taking lots of time. Okay, now this time it is not my Mac which is getting lag. The problem is with the Amazon server. Basically, the problem is with the network connectivity here. Okay, I think I should close my PG admin and then we'll. Okay, we got LOL as well. Okay, so let me delete this thing here. Let me just delete this thing. That before. Let's do that. So if you open your PG admin, now PG admin is used only for Postgres. Okay, if you're using MySQL, we have a different steps for that. I'm using PG admin here. So what I will do is I will right click on the servers, and then okay, there's no right click. Let's click on the file, and you can see there's an option of add server. So you have to look for this option of adding server. So click on add server, and if it will ask you for certain things, it will ask you for the name. It will ask you for the name. We can have any name here. We'll say this is AWS. It will ask you for the host name. And I know you remember now, the host name is this lengthy name. Let's paste it here. That's your host name. Then you have to mention your port number and nothing important here. The username is Naveen. The password is 1234567 and then click on OK. Now you can see this is getting connected with the Amazon Web Service. So of course it will take some time because Amazon Web Service doesn't trust your machine, right? So it will do lots of verification, and then it will be enabled. So as you can see, if you get this option here, that means you are Amazon Web Service, which is on the server, is connected with your machine. And trust me, when I was doing this for the first time, it took me 5 hours. I was not able to connect with this. Okay, I was getting lots of issues. I don't know what was the issue, but then I was getting some issues. If you expand this database, you can see we already have Telusko here. So this Telusko is actually coming from the server. And even before the session, I have created one of the table. Okay, I've done this before the session, so that I wanted to make sure that everything goes good on the in the live session. Okay, how IIT Delhi website was hacked? Maybe some developer done something like me, sharing the code on internet. It gives the open opportunity to hackers to hack the servers, right? Okay, so if I open public, so if you expand all these things inside this public table or public schema, you'll be having your table. So you can see in my tables, I already have a feedback table. Now, by default, you will not have this. If you're doing this by yourself, you will not have this table. What you have to do is you have to create this table. You have to right click on your tables, and you have to say new table. Okay, you have to click on new table, and then you have to give the information about the table. So you have to name the table, then you have to add the columns inside table. You can click on the add button to add the columns, right? So I have already done that. Let me just show you the table now. So this is my table with all these columns. You can see we have 6 columns or 6 columns here. We got name, email, message, registration, code, and rating. And I will right click this and I will say view data. Oh, where's that? I will right click on the table and I will say view data, all the rows. And actually, I just have one row only. Okay, and we got a question from Rakesh. When you have JDBC, why to use Hibernate? Because if you're using Hibernate, you can actually directly save the data inside the database. I mean, you can directly store the object in a database directly. You can simply use a method save. Example, if you have an object which is laptop, and you can simply say save laptop, and it is done. If you have a student, just say save student, and it is done. You don't have to write the SQL queries. That's the first advantage. The second advantage is, I will not give you that advantage now. Just go to my channel and search for Hibernate playlist and watch the second last video, or last 2 videos. You will get the idea why Hibernate is so important. Okay, so we got this data, right? Now this data is not there in my machine, okay? The data, which is this row, is not in my machine. This data is there on the server. Now, I hope you know how to insert data. You can simply use a query tool to insert data. If you're using Postgres, then the query tool, you will find that in tools. So when you see a tools option, you can go to query tool, and you can fire the queries here. Okay, the query tool is getting opened. Okay, so we got a question from Rakesh, and how it will work. Yes, internally it uses SQL. Okay, this is your query tool, and here you have to type the query, whatever query you want to work with. Okay, so I got my table, right? I got my table, I got the record as well. And this data is not on my machine. This data is on the server. Okay, so it is there on the RDS server. So once we got the RDS server, okay, it sounds like RDX, right? Yeah. So we got a server, we got a database, we got the data as well. Now what I want to do is, you can see it has 8 connections, because I guess 3 connections are from Postgres, 5 connections are there from the website. Okay. Okay. What next? Now, once we got a database, let's deploy the application here. Now, how do we deploy the application? Is it that easy? The answer is yes. It is actually very easy. So you have to go to STS. First, let's verify everything is perfect here. It seems everything is perfect. Nothing wrong in this code. It's always better to verify before deploying the application, because if something goes wrong, then you have to do lots of circus. So this org.postgresql.driver. Then we have that link, which has a port number 5432. We have a username Naveen, and we got a password which is 12345678. Everything seems good. Let me just go with this. Now, how do we deploy? For deploying this, we have to first create a WAR file, okay? And we'll say export and select WAR file, and we'll create a WAR file on my desktop. So on my desktop, I'm creating a tusk.war. Okay, if I go to my desktop now, you can see I've got a WAR file, and this WAR file is created at 554. So we just created this WAR file, and we'll go to Amazon service now. So okay, just remember, this is RDS where you can create a database. Okay, we are using two instances here. One is RDS, which is Relational Database Service, and we are also using Elastic Beanstalk. So you have to deploy your application on Beanstalk. So click on Upload and Deploy. Select for the application. So I'm selecting this Tusk WAD, and we'll give any name. We'll say this is Tusk 1.0, and then click on Deploy. It will take some time for the deployment. It is 16 MB, and my internet is very fast here. It is very, very fast. So it will take some time. Okay. Okay, just taking lots of time. Okay, so just taking lots of time. Let's hold on. So by the time it's getting uploaded, sir, so we got a question from Rakesh. I'll make a video on SVN and Log4j. Oh, let me just try that. Deployed is getting deployed. Oh, it's really wasting lots of time. Okay. It actually shows how much percentage it has completed, but now it is not showing that. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. It's taking lots of time. Oh, done. So it says deploying, deployment done. Database is already done, right, Rajesh Rekha? So using PHP, using pgMyAdmin, I can handle database now. So we have just done that, right? So you have to use the pgAdmin to connect with database. And how we connect with our database with AWS, and that's what we have done here, right? In STS, the URL which you have mentioned here is actually your AWS thing. I mean, the application will be deployed on AWS, and this URL is for the database. So I think it is working now there, and you can see you have to make sure that your health is okay. I mean, not your, but your server health is okay. And okay, let's click on this now, and you can see we got a public URL. So this is the public URL using which you can actually work with this. Okay, you can see we got welcome to Telusko Learning. Will get feedbacks.htm, and I hope it will work. I hope it will work. And yes, we got feedback. Awesome. Now this data is coming from the database. Now how do we verify this? What I will do now is I will click on. Let's also test this. Okay, we have done this, right? Let's test it. It may go wrong, but that's fine. What I would recommend you people to do is, I'm sharing this link with you here in the chat window. Just give a feedback, everyone. Just click on that and provide a feedback. Let me just also do that here. So my name is Naveen Reddy. My email is naveenreddy2@gmail.com. And then I'm giving the review for online courses. No code is required. I'm giving a feedback as good, and then I will rate myself as 4. And then I will click on submit. I hope there's no, oh, we got an error. Okay. The error is for what? Oh, there's a problem with the registration column. It is integer. Oh. There was an issue with this earlier also. See, whatever data you're getting from the page is actually the thing is that page which we are using here Okay, hold on. No one, don't give the feedback. There is something wrong with that. If I open my feedback.jsp, okay, you can see actually I'm entering a field. So what I will do is there's something wrong with that. You can see when I say regarding, it is asking for the regarding, right? For time being, actually I've taken regarding in integer format, right? And we are sending a string from here. So we have to make sure that we are sending, so I will just comment that part and I will send a text. Now I'm very bad with text, so what I will do is, I will use a name field. Okay, I will copy this. I'll paste it here. Now, I don't want a pattern matching here. I don't want to do any pattern matching. Oh, what's that? Okay, so I will name this as reg and reg because I'm expecting a number, right? So regarding, we have to insert a number. And then we'll click on validate, everything is good. Okay, and we'll say this is regarding. So you have to enter 1, 2, or 3. So 1 is a website, 2 is Navin Reddy, and 3 is online website. Okay, everything seems good here. Let's again deploy the application. Okay, let's upload this on the Amazon Web Service now. Oh, we are getting some issues here. What's wrong? I guess we can ignore this. Or let's ignore that. So let's deploy this on the server. So I will go back here and I will again go for deployment. This time we'll go for version 1.1 actually. So let's make it as 1.1 because there were some issues with the 1.0 version. And again, it will take lots of time to deploy. Let's wait for some time. So by the time, let me answer questions. So we got a question from Diva Karan. Any tutorial available on AngularJS? No. I'm very bad with designing. I'm very bad with front-end parts. So no videos on AngularJS. And you can also send your feedback, guys. I mean, how the things are going. And if you have some suggestions for this thing, and yeah, something like that. And I hope it is helpful for you. I don't know how helpful it is for you people now. I guess if you're joining from the first session, it will be helpful. I don't know if you watch in between what you will understand. That's the only concern here, right? Okay. Can you make a video? Okay, sir, can you take a Java code class in Mumbai? I mean, I'm staying in Mumbai, but I don't take online. I don't take classroom sessions. I do online sessions. Okay, we got a question from Rajshekhar. Any plan for writing unit test place? And in fact, I'm trying to do that. So what I would suggest is you give me unit test cases, and I will deploy that there. Oh, even I live in Mumbai. I live in Bhandup in Mumbai. What's your name? Smile.com. Okay, Shankar says, miss this session. Is there any way to see the session again? Yes. The session will be recorded for the future reference. So the session will be available on YouTube just after 10 minutes of the session. You can watch it there. Okay, so you can see it is deployed and it says health warning. Okay, so let's wait for some time. Let it get optimized. And let's see if it is working or not. It's taking some time. Yes, smile.com, I know DAV College. Oh, your name is Sujit Singh, okay. So just verify if that get feedbacks is working first before continuing with this. Just search for get feedback. You can see it is working, and let me just work with feedbacks. Okay, let me enter a name, which is Naveen, and email naveen@gmail.com. Regarding, I will give a number which is 1 now, and I will give a code. Let me just give a code as 101, and we'll give a message which is good. And let's give it. Let's click on submit. Oh, again we got an error. Oh, but expression is type character. What's wrong here? We have made it integer, right? Okay, I will solve this. I will solve this problem later. But time in what we can do is, in fact, this should work actually. In my Postgres database, if I verify the Postgres database, the column type is just. Registration is integer, and if I go to my STS, registration is, where's the feedback? Oh, it is string. Oh my God, it is string. My mistake. It was string earlier. When I created table, it was wrong there. What I will do is I will change it to. Can we change it? Yes, we can change it. So let me make it string or text. Oh, it is not allowing me to do that. Okay, first of all, we have to select the database. Okay. Can we change a particular column? Do we have alter option here? We got script, reports. I think we should be able to change that from here. Okay, we got column. Okay, we can change it. Select a database. From where I have to select a database? Oh, data type. Okay. I can't even see properly today. Oh, it is not allowing me to do that. Okay, what should I do now? Should I delete this and should I create new one? Hey, can you help me with this? What is the SQL query uh, to alter the column type? I forgot the query. Anyone? Can you help me with this? It should be alter column. We'll say alter table feedback. What is the query? Okay. Okay, alter column. I'm searching for the. Okay, it says alter column. Okay, just modify column. Okay, for different DBMS we have different syntax. I know for Postgres it should work. Alter column, column name, which is reg, and we'll say this is text. Oh, this is not working. Okay, best one would be I should delete this. What I will do is I will delete this column and let's recreate that column. So I will say delete. Let's create one more column here which is called as reg. It's taking some time because it is happening on the server. We'll right click and say new column, and we'll name this column as reg, and the type of what would be text. Okay, and let's say okay. Now there will be an issue of sequence, but I guess that is fine. Hibernate will map it with the names. Let's try. Let's run this thing once again. And oh, it worked. Can you see that? But the problem is in the code we have written welcome.jsp, which is not there, right? But it will work. Now if I go for, let's just copy this link. Okay, now everyone, you can try with the feedback, but let me just verify if my feedback is getting added. Okay, you see that we got my feedback as well. So the feedback which I have given is this one. So what I would suggest you to go is, I'm sharing this link with you for feedback. Send me a feedback on, okay, let me share the link on the chat window. Send a feedback. Let's verify. Okay, any feedback yet? No, only I got 2 feedbacks. And let me know if you're getting any error there. Or just enhance your, just make sure that you're watching this in 720. It may happen that you're watching this in 144 pixel, 144 dp. Okay. I've not got any other feedback yet. I got only 2 feedbacks here. Come on, add some feedback. Okay, I got feedback from Dhanashree. I got feedback from Sujit. Okay, great. Oh, the message is not getting printed. I guess I have not written. I'm not writing the message there. I will check your messages later anyway. So I guess in the feedback I'm not writing the message in the toString method, but that's fine. I do have your message here in the database. So if I can view all this data here, so I will say view all rows. Okay, it's coming from the server. Yes, Sujit, I got your feedback. So that's good. So congrats, we have deployed our website on Amazon Web Service, and everything is working. I got so many feedbacks here. I got feedback from Dhanashree, which is great. I got feedback from Sujit, cool. I got Raj, excellent. Rajesh, good. Aarti, good. Vishal, hello sir. Akshay, amazing sir. So I got all this feedback here. That's great. So we have deployed our first app on Amazon Web Service. So claps. Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed this session. In the next thing, we'll be talking about the test module. So let me give you some hint about test module. So by tomorrow, by tomorrow morning, I will give you the test module database. I will be uploading that on. So I'll be adding that in a group. So in the Facebook group which we are there, I'll be sending you the table structure for the test module, and I will also inform you what need to be done in the test module by tomorrow morning, or yeah, by tomorrow morning, so that you can work on it. So maybe the next live session will be on Friday. We'll be completing the test module in the next live session. So by the time explore your work on Amazon Web Service, create your own account, and try to work with that. So whatever we have done till now is going on GitHub now. Right click and team. Let me share this project on the GitHub. Okay, we have to select the repository here. Oh, I guess I have removed the repository. Okay, I guess I have removed the repository. I will do that after this session. I guess we have to configure the repository here. Okay, so that's it from this session, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this Amazon Web Service thing. I'll be making a video as well how to deploy your first application on Amazon Web Service. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And before that, I have one question here. So I got this question from Akshay. If you know server-side programming, okay, so yes, you should also know the front-end part as well. So you should know both to get a job as a fresher. Okay, then that's it. If you have liked this session, click on the like button, guys, and that's it. Do subscribe the channel if you're not subscribed yet. And thank you so much for watching. See you on Friday. In fact, there will be an update in the group. So make sure you're there in the group to get more updates.